What's good? Good evening. What's going down? This is the Chop Up Show. My name is Toya G. I'm happy to be with you. Phenomenal opportunity to sit and talk to some of my favorite people. With one of my favorite people, we are with none other than the political plug. Plug, what's the word?
What's good with it? What's good with it? We are here. Another conversation, more dialogue for y'all. Y'all pull up. Make sure y'all hit the like button. If you ain't subscribed, subscribe, share, do all of that. Y'all know what to do on YouTube. We've been doing this long enough.
Y'all not getting nowhere else a conversation about a world of two Nickies. You're not really,
Nah,
there's no other podcast on nothing right now that's taking these two issues, and they're not related. We're not sticking them together, but one place, little political conversation, little popular culture conversation, a little bit of conversation about Black women, a little bit of conversation about women who don't want to recognize their color. I mean, it's just we really are checking a lot of boxes this evening. So I'm gonna go ahead and I guess get the ball rolling with. Well, I'm gonna toss it to the plug because the plug
yeah,
got to tell us who mad. The plug
yeah,
got to tell us who mad before we get too deep.
yeah.
We haven't figured out exactly what we're calling this. Is they mad? The white people
Somebody
mad?
mad. It's just who mad? Who
Somebody
mad this
mad?
week?
Who mad this week?
Yeah.
Plug, you feel how you need to frame it how you need to frame it. But what's the word? What's going on?
All right. So, the person that's mad this week is me. I'm hot, y'all. I have some frustration, right? Anybody that's been paying attention to any of Donald Trump's legal cases, one of the biggest one he has is what's happening Fulton County, Atlanta, Georgia, right? Within that, Fonnie Willis is the historic district attorney that indicted a sitting president on RICO charges. Very interesting case. Really already got people snitching. Already got people, you know what I'm saying, flipping, turning on them. Two of Donald Trump's attorneys and his chief of staff have already flipped in Atlanta, right? Here's the thing. They tried to distract away from all of this, you know what I'm saying, legal work that's been put on Donald Trump as by accusing the district attorney Fonnie Willis of having an inappropriate relationship with one of her special prosecutors, was his Nathan Wade. They attempted to use Mr. Wade's divorce as a way to undermine the prosecution and to undermine the prosecution of Donald Trump. Here's the thing. They made the argument that if they were allowed to look at Nathan Wade's divorce, then they would be able to find and prove evidence that Nathan Wade and Fonnie Willis not only had an inappropriate relationship, but she was using her ability to hire him so he could send her out on lavish trips and go on vacations and do all that, right? They said if they were able to get access to his divorce, it would prove all of that. Last week, that divorce was unsealed.
Yeah.
Fonnie Willis's name was not mentioned one time in the divorce. Not once. Everybody was saying that this whole case was gonna get thrown out because Fonnie Willis was doing stuff in his divorce. Once we get the information, the media, ain't nobody really came back and said, "Oh, her name really ain't in that shit at all."
Right.
As much as they was like, "Oh, she got this relationship. Oh, what's going on?" There was nothing there, and there's no correction. There's the offense was much louder than the cleanup.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's frustrating to see this black woman be accused of all of this bullshit, and when her name is actually vindicated, everybody's silent. I'm hot about that. Y'all should be too. These are the type of things we need to pay attention to. We don't have a lot of black district attorneys. Only 5% of district attorneys in this country are black. Maybe I think it may be up to 7 now, but I mean, still, it's a single digit range. You feel me? So when we have black people, in this case, black women, who are taking up these roles as, you know what I'm saying, actually holding motherfuckers accountable, we need to make sure that we as the people that's doing the work to protect them. You feel me? So yeah. They got
I believe we probably need to know more about those people. I won't say more, but as much as, and in a different capacity as like politicians, because politicians gonna politician. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna say one thing and do another, but the law is the law. You know what I'm saying? So really having people who are trying to hold people to the letter of that, I'm a little bit more fascinated and captivated about what that looks like on a local level, what that looks like on the federal level, what that's looking like on the state level, because she's setting it up to where it's gonna be, it's hard, it's rough. So the future ahead, like you said, the calls is coming from inside the house. They ain't already flipped on it. You know what I'm saying? So
already,
it really is wicked off the case that she built, the house that she built, and so those are the people we need to be knowing about and paying attention, especially in 2024 America too. So,
But yeah,
uh,
so that's that. Let's go ahead and get into this. You know what I'm saying? This first chop that we about to break down.
all right. So we'll do the Nicki Minaj chop first.
Okay. The first
Surprise,
half of the
surprise.
Nickies of the night.
The first half of the Nickies of the night, and I gotta acknowledge the comments because out the gate, Jay Universe was the first one in here said not too much on Nicki now. So, good luck. So we're gonna say what we need to say about that. Do that. Shout out to everybody just saying what's up. Emmanuel, Tiffany, Donnell was good with it. Miss Ma'am, everybody. You know what I'm saying? Is in here. Black Paint. I don't know a lot about Charles Blow, the devil you know, but I dare to believe you could probably talk. Are you hip to that?
Yeah. Actually, at the end of the show, Black Paint, make sure you stick around because we'll do like a little ask to chop up, and I'll answer that for you. So
just like that, or come back and watch the video later on. Just know we're gonna talk about it. So let's get down to what's been happening on the timelines, right, and all across the internet, because with the way that Nicki Minaj has always kind of been explosive as a woman in the hip hop game, and also with the success of Meg Thee Stallion mixed with some of the tribulations and literal trials of Meg Thee Stallion, she has kind of some crossover flair and connection with just general population as well. So it's a lot of conversation about the beef that they're in. They're officially in a 1,000% no holds barred, nothing's off the table, knockdown, smack out, drag out beef, and it's extra and it's wicked. And the Barbs is doing what Barbs do. And I don't even see it's like the Barbs.
But it's like, are women taking over hip hop like that? Like they got the most relevant beefs, you know what I'm saying? Like the Nicki
Well, I think who is it? Benzino and Eminem got a beef.
Yeah,
if you want to get into that a little bit.
But it's like Benzino, Eminem, and Coi Leray because he taking shots at her too. So and then he felt like as her daddy, he gotta jump in. But don't nobody care about a Benzino diss though. Niggas really lightweight care about an Eminem diss nowadays.
So okay, you know what I'm saying? And so with the Barbs on one side rocking with Nicki Minaj, with the Hotties, and I don't even think it's the Hotties, like that's her little stand crew, that's their name, but I really feel like it's just like the average critical thinker is also aligned generally with Meg Thee Stallion. And so here we are at this crossroads where now songs have been released. Like it's not just jazz, it's not just people dropping tweets, it's like they using the craft to get into it.
So you have to fill me in though. What is the origins of the beef? Where did it start? Who did what?
So,
because it seems I guess it was like sneak dissing. It's the sneak dissing.
I feel like the origins of the beef have a lot to do with Nicki being insecure about being the matriarch of hip hop, and having the queen of hip hop title, and what that means in relationship to people kind of kowtowing and bowing to her and giving her respect and like doing whatever. And so I feel like if I understand the pure origins of it, it was like all the girlies was trying to be friendly. Nicki came in being divisive. I think we know Cardi and Meg end up linking. We know Cardi and Nicki don't rock. Now we know Cardi and Meg don't rock. Okay. In this particular instance, and I think
are there any? So there was never. It's not like no Source Awards. Like where niggas got into it backstage.
I don't think so. I think it's just the culmination of jazz being taken, subliminals being taken, sides being taken, weird shit. So we then fast forward to Hiss, who was recently released. Megan's getting back. Outcome of the trial has happened. She done lost a bunch of weight, looking good, been in the gym, been doing a whole bunch of photo shoots, been a whole bunch of big stuff. Big Pub is the
Planet Fitness commercials.
Planet Fitness. You know what I'm saying? Like she getting to it as usual, like as she been doing, she prospering. And so she released Hiss, and Hiss is a song that takes a jab at a lot of people. And she specifically said the day that it released, like the usual phrase, hit dogs will holler. You know what I'm saying? Didn't really say no names, kind of just said what she said, but made it clear, like if you feel some type of way, you're gonna make some noise about this, and that's how y'all gonna know who I'm talking about. And I don't think anybody else, right? But I'm talking about that night, my nigga. Yeah. Like it turned into a whole situation. So though Minaj was not mentioned by name in his, fans pointed to one line. The line is as follows: "These hoes don't be mad at Megan. These hoes mad at Megan's law." As possible reference to Minaj's.
Oh, that's hard. That's hard.
who is a
Hey,
registered
she knew
sex
what she was
offender.
doing. She knew what she was doing. Yeah, my fault.
I'll
Explain
repeat
it.
the line. I repeat the line. These hoes don't be mad at Megan. These hoes be mad. These hoes mad at Megan's Law. As possible reference to
That's
Minaj's
hard.
husband, Kenneth Petty, who is a registered sex offender because Megan's Law requires police to communicate information to the public about sex offenders. Petty, whom with Minaj had a child in 2020, was accused of doing some crazy things with a minor. I thought I got the rest of that information. Gosh, I
Yeah,
wish I really had that. But is a
but he's
sex offender.
convicted and he's registered. You know what I'm saying?
This is
Shit that
also
ain't
in a
in
world
Megan's
where
Law.
she has a brother. She has a brother who is, I think, in prison right now for uh sexual violence.
Yeah. He locked up, and then she wrote a character.
And so it's just a
Yeah.
lot going on. As a sidebar, the father of the victim of Megan's Law, the child Megan, who the law was named after, I think is trying to sue Megan Thee Stallion for no other reason besides he's a racist, white supremacist, anti-black man who don't like rap and is trying to capitalize off this moment. So that's some interesting thing to
And
watch. Some
clearly
shit to
don't
watch
understand how the law work neither, nigga.
at
Like,
all. But there's that. So this then creates a world where, let's see. Yeah, this creates a world where then Nicki Minaj responds. She responds with a song called Bigfoot. Bigfoot is clearly a jab at Nicki Minaj and Meg Thee Stallion's foot and at her stature. A jab at just her whole body type, whatever. Now, she said that one little line about Megan's Law. There's also, I guess, Meg said something about ass shots in the song that could have been interpreted as a jab toward Nicki. But Nicki decides to really amp it up and very directly, very clearly just make a whole song about Meg Thee Stallion. And some of the most important shit about this is that she really said a lot of shit about her mama. Here's what Nicki Minaj was saying about Meg Thee Stallion's mama. And I'm only going to say those lines because it's a whole bunch of other jabs in here. She says specifically, how you fuck your mother, man, when she die? How you go on Gayle King and can't cry? Child, bye. Bigfoot, but you still a small fry. Swearing on your dead mother when you lie. Ayo. So, first reference of the passing of her mother. Then says, because she was lying on your dead mama, on your dead mama, lying on your dead mama, on your dead mama, like she's repeating it. Then she say, then here's where it get disrespectful. She say, if you don't apologize to your mama in 24 hours, she gonna get uglier than Kim Barbie, okay? Don't play. And then I feel like it's disrespectful because Nicki line is all these is my sons. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like you being her mama now. Like it's all too disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh yeah, go ahead.
Last line, and then I would love to hear your take on the messiness of all of this. Let's see. I'm very serious. Hold the thing you lied about, even pertaining to your mom. You don't want them out, okay? Now, since you think it's funny to speak about people's families, we'll all join in. We'll all play the reindeer games as soon as your nose heals, and as soon as let's leave it at that for the second installment. That's how that song ends. So, by the way, Petty, I want to clarify his charges. Was convicted of attempted rape in 1995 and was sentenced to 3 years of probation in 2022 for failing to register as a sex offender.
Yeah, so
what do we do with that?
This shit is like I listen to battle rap. This ain't nothing. Like I mean, yeah, like I feel like it was like I've heard so much worse, and not even just from men, from women in battle rap as well. Like, so this, you know what I'm saying? To me, this is really just like, it's light. You know what I mean? Like because again, we talking battle rap, like, and even though like these are mainstream women, you feel me? Like, this is still battle rap, and on the level of like disrespect, this was like, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like again, What?
So
Pac started out said that's why I fucked your bitch, you fat motherfucker. And then it was just like, I will kill you niggas. All you niggas will die. He made fun of a nigga with sickle cell. You feel me? Like it was, you know what I'm saying? Like it was like, so, you know, when we thinking about,
I guess let me ask this question then.
Yeah.
Because you thinking about what?
No, go ahead.
I guess just so are you saying ain't no boundaries? I guess that's my first question is, are there any boundaries? Is anything off limits? Is anything off the table?
No.
And if so, I'm sorry, if not, like, why is that a good thing? Like,
I mean,
nothing sacred.
Well, because I think again, as somebody who listens to battle rap, it's really all about how it's executed. Like things are like very terribly disrespectful things have been said, but they just was executed with perfection. So it just sounded hard. And it's like, it's fiction. We know it's fiction. These are like, well, for the most part, for a lot of niggas.
Her mother really did pass away.
No.
Like this is real life. Like this is not a make up scenario.
Yeah, but I mean, niggas use like real shit to beef. Like niggas be talking about, I'm gonna lay you down next to him. You feel me? You miss him? You about to meet him soon type shit. Like that's what I mean, that's battle rap. And y'all let us know in the chat where y'all think lines is, because I'm not just gonna say just because it's Meg Thee Stallion celebrity superstar and it's Nicki Minaj celebrity superstar that the rules change. Nah, fuck that. If we diss it. If anything, cause I'm gonna be for real. That Megan's Law bar, that's disrespectful as shit too, and it went hard. Like but it was executed. It was executed well. But if it was like a child, you know what I'm saying, assault bar that wasn't good, it'd be like, oh no, that was distasteful. You feel me? So it's one of them things where it's like shit. The rules don't change just because it's two big celebrities that's doing it.
Okay, so let's slide, because a couple people, shout out to Regular Joe, say feeling the stream, appreciate that. Hood therapy was good, thank you for popping in. Tiffany say I'm not okay with any of it in relationship to the question, are there any boundaries? So let's kick it up a notch, because I think the question becomes like, okay, this beef is soft, but I mentioned the Hotties, or at least the Meg supporters, and the Barbs earlier. And I think this is where the plot get thick, because these people are superstars sitting in their mansions, going in their studios that they got, you know what I'm saying, in the corner of a huge bedroom and going crazy. Yeah. And they just are they deciding what they want to do and how they want to do it. And Nikki said, I got 5 songs ready for you right now. Just to put you on. I got receipts for you. Like she's saying, I'm waiting for you to say something to deny any of the things that I said. Meanwhile, Meg ain't even responding. She like whatever.
I mean, that's what you're supposed to do.
But these fans though also coined the stands. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Eminem. I already said his name twice on today's podcast. Never expected
right, but he
that.
One of the goats though. So you know what I'm saying? He get, and especially when it comes to battle rap, that nigga's known to say some wild shit. But real quick before we get into the stands response, a few of the people in the chat was talking about some of the disses. Donnell said there's something about the subtlety in Meg's verse that makes it more impactful. Nicki was just shit talking with no tact. It just lacks the slick ass vibe you got from Meg. Tiffany said not something that's real and did happen morally, realistically. There should be limits and boundaries. Okay, Tiff, I hear you. Jay Universe said, I feel like all of this is strategic, fake beef, and I don't know why anyone was expecting Nicki to have a crazy diss. I'm an OG fan, and she ain't never been known to battle rap, which is crazy because she's from New York. Like, you don't say you an artist from New York and you can't battle rap. Yeah, I mean.
I don't think you need to jump in no beefs like this. Do y'all know? Because a lot of people was on Nicki head. First of all, they think she got a habit. People pretty sure she got a habit. I don't know, but habitual. It's looking habitual. But then also on top of that, like she went on like a 4-5 day tangent, like a 4 day long, just around the clock, just constant subtweets on Instagram, live wilding, saying all types of wild shit about it. And it's just like, is this not OD? Like, is this not like really extra for something that was subpar? Like, I feel like if you did all
like, if you wanted to smoke, I'm gonna bring it to you. You can't tell me when to turn it off.
That's weak. That's so weak to me, and it's so weak to me because you did all this talking, you did all this fussing for 4 and 5 days straight, and then just turned out poop. Like it's just bad. Like you should go listen to the song. It's a couple of bars, and I know you're not pressed about it, but It's.
I mean, nah. You know, I'm tapped into the culture. Yeah, I'm with it.
I mean,
The
check it out.
the last comment, it's Miss Ma'am. This is kind of funny. She was like, I don't
No,
think
you got to
there.
read J Universe's too. Go ahead.
Okay, cool. Okay, yeah, J Universe. But Miss Ma'am said, I don't think there are boundaries, but that's why your mama dead is like the kill shot. Kill shots out the gate. Man got under Nick's skin. Like
Absolutely.
that's why your grandma died, nigga. All right, we
You
fighting.
know what I'm saying?
Fuck
Like
it.
what?
It's time to fight. Then J Universe said the rules only changed because they're women. People are so dramatic. Rappers were really shooting at each other. They just name calling. And that's true. And then pointing the finger like that's why your mama did. It's kind of childish when you when you look at it.
But check. It's spicier though because these fans is out here watching it. It's people watching it, and it used to just be with the rap beats. We would just like be like, "Hey, did you hear that? Yeah. Oh my God, did you check that? So let's play this line. Let's play this bar. Okay, well, feel how you want to feel. We'll go back and forth." But I feel like niggas, that was barbershop talk. That was pastime talk. That was riding on the bus, riding to school, back and forth talk. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, when nobody really out here having no stake in these other people beefs. Nowadays, for whatever reason, the weird ass paradoxical world we live in, where these people really create these parasocial relationships with people they don't know.
I think that happened with the East Coast West Coast beef. I think like niggas is really like putting that on them, and that was only because of rappers. There was like no real beef between the East and the West Coast, but because Pac and Biggie was beefing, those whole coast was beefing. I think that's the only other example, though, to be honest.
I mean, but I think there was like a whole subculture, like a gang culture that had colors and unity and all types of shit you can get around and regional shit. Like there was a level of collective camaraderie that was also based on the whole subculture of shit that people were able to get into. Now it's Barbies and people. Like I like like, do I making sense? Like the artifacts, the components of things that people latch onto just don't make any sense in that same context. Like it was East Coast West Coast beef, but it was multiple rappers, multiple people. It was like.
But
I ain't gonna say it was better. It was stupid. It was stupid. You wanna know why it was stupid? Because people in Kansas City was out here trying to be on some East Coast West Coast.
Like we was West Side. Like
we was West Side. I really specifically remember being in Kansas City. Like I don't feel.
But we literally a part of the West though. Like we are literally the Midwest, but it's West nonetheless.
Bruh, like we're in the middle. We're the heartland is what they call us for a reason. So all of that to say, like,
Toya, but you know who I blame?
Who for what?
For like the rise of the Barbs and all of that. Beyonce. The first time
I think the Barbs predate, and y'all tell me in the comments if I'm wrong. I feel like as a formal thing, the Barbs predate the Beehive. I feel like Beyonce was still kind of striking her tone and doing her thing, and then maybe my timelines is off.
Yeah, let us know in the chat, y'all. What came first, the Barbs or the Beehive? I think the Beehive came
chicken
first.
or the egg looking ass. Like I just don't feel like I don't feel like Beyonce was a prototype. I feel like the Beehive is a presence, but they don't behave like the Barbs do. They not out here doxing people and tearing people up. They are being hella defensive and probably
they only type of bully. They're bullies, but they not doxing people. I give you.
But they go in the comments leaving bees and shit. Remember they was used to do that and like the bee emojis.
Yeah,
and just
the honeycombs and
they're hyper present, but they're not out here doing shit like doxing people. You know what I'm saying? Like you got people in it for better or for worse. They talking crazy to each other, doing all types of crazy things to each other online, but then people escalate it. And they start doxing information. And we know doxing will definitionally be the act of taking personal information and spreading it and making it accessible to complete strangers, somebody else's personal information, so they can do with it what they will. And that's always going to be risky behavior. So one of the specific ways that this shit is kind of gotten out of control with this doxing for Meg is that the Barbs have, of course, been doxing her. And one of the things, piece of information they let slip is where her mother and her tombstone and her grave is. And that risk became so out of control that the authorities had to be involved in it. Like it's Houston Police Department are a part of making sure that particular space doesn't get desecrated because of, I believe, the command of Nicki Minaj. Like some of this shit be by her behest. They not just sit in the comments like, what'd you say about Nicki? Like she's sending them out into the world and telling them to do shit. It's the wildest thing I've ever seen. And so it's thick. But here's the thing. It's not just thick for the celebrity. Because Meg Thee Stallion can afford to have round-the-clock, 24-hour cameras, right, surveillance, care,
she already got it. She got it.
But it's everyday people, right, who are just having opinions, participating in the dialogue and the discourse of the social and the medias. And Barbs specifically, but also, I mean, anybody can do it. And we're going to have to talk about that in a second in terms of anybody doxing, because it's some asteriskness to this. But it's really out here tearing up other human beings' lives. And here's the other thing. People are also reverse doxing. I've been seeing on Twitter and shit where people are like, y'all act like y'all the only people who know how to push buttons. And so people who are being doxed or doxing, it's messy. So we got a video. We got a video. Let me see. We in the comments. Before we start the video, let me see. Name calling is okay. It is what it is. But the part about her mom, I'm not feeling right. The fans are a real problem now. People willing to catch charges for artists that ain't finna pay no kind of bill money, Miss Ma'am said. You know what I'm saying? Like J Universe, Tiffany, Miss Ma'am already like it's the stakes is kind of high. Y'all doing too much. Now this video is a watch. I want y'all to sit back and listen to this video of this person. I don't know who they are, but I do know they are on TikTok. Are a Nikki supporter. I'm sorry. A Meg supporter. And made some comments, said what they had to say about the situation at hand, and we'll let them take it away from there.
All right, here we go.
Interestingly enough, today's the birthday of the person who doxed.
It's playing, but we can't hear
private and personal information onto the internet this past weekend in response to my criticisms of Nicki Minaj. Now, what's actually a little bit funny is you happened to dox me the night of my younger brother's birthday. You leaked my phone number, a former address me and my family used to reside in. Now, I'm sure many of y'all are wondering, oh my God, Eric, why didn't you bring attention to this when it first happened? Well, one, I didn't see it fit to boost or amplify content containing my personal information, one of which was approximate locations to the current city and state that I live in. And number two, after doing a bit of scrolling and clicking around, I found every bit and piece of information I needed to find on you, one of which was your birthday.
So this is the doxing and the reverse doxing.
Now,
here's
the thing.
Not quite.
I've never sought legal recourse through the U.S. justice system. But I've also never been doxed to this degree. And I want to be clear. I can only speak for me. The people I can't speak for is my family, my extended family. The people who felt slighted by your decision to not only endanger my life, but the lives of my younger brothers and my mother. So you have one of two options. One, you will not only issue me a direct and sincere apology, but you will do so on the very same platform you use to dox and disseminate my private and personal information. Because what was done in public will be apologized for in public. Number two, you will delete that stand page. You will delete your account. It must be done away with, my love. And three, you will take down the post containing my personal and private information. It's still up. And that's nuts. Macadamia. Now, should you choose not to follow the demands of number one, option number two is one.
I think what's interesting is that having that up there, like once it, like even with them taking it down, like that doxing shit, once it's there, it's there. Niggas is taking screenshots, screen recordings, you know what I'm saying? All of that shit. And so it's like, for somebody to be having this serious conversation, not about their identity being stole, but because we had beef about Nicki Minaj and Meg Thee Stallion, like now my whole, you like somebody felt comfortable to put my whole personal, you know what I'm saying, the access to the people I love, everything else. So, and again, y'all caught, like, I sound like an old man griping. This is celebrity culture. This is that we attach ourselves so much to celebrities that we literally go out putting ourselves fucking in danger because you can get locked up for doxing, nigga. Especially if
and we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about it in a second.
But yeah,
for sure.
But let's finish it up though.
A report with the Cybercrime Division of the FBI will be filed. 2, legal representation will be involved so as to seek compensatory damages for the trauma you sought to inflict on me and my family. 3, a phone call and several emails will be issued to the technical college at which you major in nursing to let them know that somebody who potentially will be seeking a career in nursing and be medically responsible for the lives of people saw it fit to endanger the lives of regular civilians over celebrity drama. And number 4, you also run the risk of your face and the account in which you used to dox me being plastered across the entire internet. Now, had this been an attack solely directed at me and me only, I would have let it fly. God honest truth, Scout's honor. Plus, you're only 20. But because you got my family involved,
Hello.
With that being said, I'm looking forward to your apology, Amaria. Happy birthday. Congratulations to you for getting into nursing school, and say hi to Grandma Ida for me. Kisses.
Okay, so how you say this ain't reverse doxing? Like, nigga brought up her grandma. You know what I'm saying? Like,
just to let you know the threat is real. That's called showing teeth. That's not reverse doxing. That's called showing teeth. And let's talk about what doxing is. Let's talk about what doxing is because I'm glad you brought it up. So we're here in the state of California, so I looked up specifically what the state of California laws is, and the state of California has a definition of doxing, and that's important to note that they have decided to define and codify doxing so that they have a law that if you are found guilty of said act, you have to pay $1,000 fine or up to a year in county jail. Right, that's whatever county that you commit the crime in. However, in a federal context, there is not there's a definition, and I don't mean to say definition of doxing. In California, doxing itself is a crime. Like if you take somebody's information and disseminate it, that is a crime. Federally, from what I understand, doxing is not like a federal crime, but can lead to crimes that can raise themselves to federal implications. So if the doxing is used to harass somebody, to intimidate somebody for the act of identity theft, for incitement of violence, right? If you dox somebody and ain't gonna beat them up, that's when you start to get to the level of federal charges, and that can lead from anywhere across the country. I think from $50 to $2,000, and up to from 6 months to like 2 years in prison, right? So just
over a Nicki Minaj beef, that is crazy.
It's wild. Somebody who's not gonna, I mean, I can't, Miss Ma'am said it so clear, I got to say it again, over somebody who is not coming to get you, not paying you no bail money. Shout out to Marcel, what's good, good evening, welcome. And so the shit's crazy by itself, but I gotta ask the question, plug. I gotta ask the question. You ready for my question?
What's up?
So we talked about reverse doxing. That might not be the best way to go about things, but the good folks, we won't call them the good guys, the good people though, people on the right side of right, have used doxing many times to make sure racist people, homophobic people, fucking Karens see justice. Yeah. And you know, you have had an outburst and you did all this and do all that. A lot of people say, I'm recording you. You're gonna lose your job. Like, you know what I'm saying? And
you about to lose your job. You about to lose your job. Yeah.
And so we celebrate doxing then. And so I guess I have to ask the question, like, is doxing good or bad, bro? Like,
it's very simple. It's like anything, doxing is a weapon. Like anything, doxing is a weapon. So if we look at it, it's all about how it's used. If I got a pistol for protection, it's a good thing. If I got a pistol to rob niggas, that's not the best of things. If we look at doxing the same way, because that means you're gonna use that weapon differently. For example, if it's a racist troll page that's constantly harassing motherfuckers on, you know what I'm saying, on the internet, and somebody connect that troll page to a real page and get that person's real information, and then with that find out where they work and be like, hey, law firm, the person saying this work for you, oh, they get fired. Right. Doxing was used in a productive way. If a motherfucker mad that Meg Thee Stallion has a better diss than Nicki Minaj, and they post somebody personal information who has a differing opinion on musical artists, that is a irresponsible use of that weapon. That is an irresponsible use of your ability to do that. Because if you get somebody hurt over a celebrity, come on now.
But we know the law don't work like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all or nothing. It is, you were bad for doing it, or you are allowed to do it, and it's
that's why the law is flawed. That's why the law is flawed. Because it's like, if I only put their job out there, the only thing that's at risk is them losing their job. Right. If I put their address, if I put social security numbers, if I put sensitive data, then that put people's whole family at risk. You know what I mean? So that's why it's like...
So your line is doxing is okay as long as it's not publicly identified.
I mean, if it's not putting nobody else, like other people at risk, then no.
I mean, but you never know to what extent, because if I lose my job and my family gonna be hungry as shit because I don't have a place to work no more, then you put my family at risk, and it's the same thing, potato, tomato. I guess
you did that though. You did that. You know what I'm saying? Like, your actions wasn't aligned with the company where you work, and you had to suffer them consequences. You did.
I mean, but other people, I will say, there is another doxing conversation that we can't afford to ignore, even though it's not directly related to Nicki and Meg, and that is, what's happening with students who are protesting, what's happening with Palestine, and what's happening in Gaza. You know what I'm saying? So that's a whole nother fucked up level of the way that doxing. And I know people personally who, have lost opportunities, have been forced out of their house. And these are students. These are people who live on campuses who are just trying to get an education, but their education is well-rounded, and they're critical thinkers, and they're scholars, and there are people who are willing to question the very obvious kind of paralances of settler colonialism. And so it gets weird, and it gets frustrating.
That's backlash from cancel culture. Because they're literally saying, like, oh, so I have an opinion on black people that could get me fired from my job. Okay. Well, we're aligned with Judaism and the Jewish people, and they're being attacked. And so if you're not standing up for the attacked Israeli group, then you're not aligned with our principles. And so you're not somebody we can hire. So.
Well, I mean, we're gonna round it out because we've been talking for a bit. I will say, Regular Joe has been tapping in, said Nicki is notorious for oppression of other female rappers. Meg is the one that got away, and Nicki has 5K bars ready for deployment written years ago. But I'm not never gonna hate on nobody for what they're fans of. I just like talking to rational people who have a line. So if you like, oh, Nicki, whatever, that's you and your politics. I can't really deal with nobody who, is making choices to support sex offenders, like actively and defending it and standing in it. I mean, what else you gonna do about the person you married? But it's just weird to me.
But when you do it twice, like when your brother and then the nigga you
like, just be quiet. Be quiet. And you don't be quiet, that's when that shit just be weird to me. But Regular Joe also settled the dispute, and I think I'm willing to deal with this compromise. Said the Beehive was first, but the Barbs are ruthless.
Blame
and I don't disagree. Beyonce was first. Blame Beyonce is the theory. I think it's been proven correct based on Regular Joe. But no matter what, J Universe say, this shit ain't that serious. And I mean, when it ain't that serious, I think that comment came in probably when we was talking about the doxing and how. But I don't think the standing is that serious. These is people, regular ass people doing regular ass shit a little bit more optimally than we do. We watch it, we appreciate it. It's the circle of life. It's just people just do shit, like it and move on. You ain't got to fall in love with them and try to look like them and fight people for them and fight people who you don't know and who don't know that. Like, it's just very confusing. It's very peculiar behavior. And I wish better for everybody involved and Team Megan Thee Stallion, just in case you were curious. But that's one Nicki down, one more Nicki to go. And with that, I'm gonna toss it over to the plug.
All right, so the
Nicki plug before we start. If you at all, enjoy the conversation about Nicki, about Meg, about doxing. If you just here tapping in and chopping it up with the Chop Up Show, go ahead and hit that thumb real quick as we push into the second part of this conversation, because I'm really appreciating the energy y'all bring to the comments, right?
And appreciate y'all fucking with us in the chat. We want to hear from more of y'all as well. But get into the second chop, the second Nicki of the night. It's time to talk about Nikki Haley. And depending on how you feel about Nicki Minaj, Nikki Haley may be in the same unlikable run. And the same unlikable category. Because Nikki Haley has been on what I like to call a racial illiteracy tour. And each stop on this tour, she's proven more and more how her understanding of race and her personal experiences are being, what's the word, confused with cognitive dissonance. She's attempting to ingratiate herself so much with white conservatives that she's making and repeating the same absurd claims about race and racism in the United States, while also being mocked for her ethnic and racial identity. Let's just put that out there, right? So why is Nikki Haley important in the first place? Why is people even talking about her in the first place? After New Hampshire, Toya, Nikki Haley, I think in New Hampshire and in Iowa, we start to see like a lag and a lack of voter enthusiasm for conservatives, specifically Donald Trump. Everybody else then dropped out the race instead of Nikki Haley. Nikki Haley, the only one left. The reason why is because moderates are actually looking at Nikki Haley as like, that's my conservative option. There's no way I'm fucking with Donald Trump. I'll fuck with Joe Biden before I vote for Donald Trump, and I'm a conservative.
Can I ask a side question to the political plug? Was DeSantis a less interesting option because he was like a baby Trump? Is that a fair observation?
I think yeah. I think he failed to be able to properly criticize Trump as an opponent, but then at the same time attempt to appeal to Trump voters. And what people don't really understand is it ain't about, like, Trump is a celebrity. So like the same way the Barbs are with Nicki Minaj, regardless of what she do, that's like MAGA. Like, Trump supporters are, regardless of how he move, what he say, he could be for one thing and against it the next day. They with him. So it's not even about the shit he say or that the shit that the shit that he stand on. It's more so him as a celebrity. You know what I mean? So Nikki Haley is starting to expose the cracks in the conservative voting base, and a lot of those voters are willing to say that I'm a conservative that's willing to vote for Joe Biden if Nikki Haley ain't the candidate. So people is like, oh shit, like Nikki Haley could be the Trump killer, right? Like she's changing how we think and talk about the election. So she's getting all this popularity, and then it went to her fucking head, like this shit always does. And you get the first statement that she makes that really had people like, what? Like what? And that is when she said, when she made the statement that, or she attempted to explain this the Civil War, omitting slavery. Like, so she was asked a question about the Civil War. Nikki Haley talked about the Civil War and never mentioned slavery or racism. Never mentioned slavery or racism. So she's asked a follow-up question like, well, slavery in the Civil War. She was like, what do you want me to say about slavery? It's like, bitch, you.
You said, what about what, plug?
I said, hold on, I dropped out real quick, but I'm back.
Asked the question, what about?
What about the Civil War? She asked the question, what about the Civil War? Well, let me make sure we back up. Hey, let me know. Yeah, okay, cool. Let me know in the chat that we cool and everything. We had just dropped out for a second. Let us know in the chat that we good. But when she had her conversation about the Civil War, she was then asked, what about slavery? And she was like, well, what do you want me to say about slavery? Like, what does that have to do? And it's like,
I want you to act like your daddy was a professor at a damn HBCU for 30 years, and that was largely the reason why you moved to the South to fucking begin with. That's what I want you to act like real quick. Right. Come on.
You know what I mean? So it's whatever ignorance that she operating off of, right? We good. And so the first stop on this tour were these statements. Foolishness. And everybody was going in, and I kind of avoided it. I didn't make any content about Nikki Haley because it's like, this is really low-hanging fruit for me. Like, 'cause she's still a conservative. And I get that she's actually exposing like the cracks in the voter base. That still don't make her relevant enough to talk about this type of shit. Like, why are we even asking her? Because she's not about to be the nominee regardless, right? It's funny how the media move like that. So she makes the comments about the Civil War.
No, we know. And we still got to play this game.
Right. And so the next step, or the next stop in her racial illiteracy tour, she's doing an interview on Fox News, and she makes the comment that America has never been a racist country.
Of course.
She makes the comment that America has never been a racist country. Now, again, you got a father. Her father is a professor of what now? At HBCU, he was a professor of what? It was like social. You know what I'm saying? Like it was understanding. It has something to do with understanding social phenomenon. You feel me?
I'm about to look. I'm about to see. Let me see. Nikki Haley's father.
Let's go to her. Let's go to her comments exactly. So on Tuesday, the former governor gave an interview on Fox News where she asked to respond to an MSNBC host comments about the Republican Party. Brian Kilmeade asked Haley if she was involved in a racist party. Haley responded by saying, "We're not a racist country, Brian. We've never been a racist country." Which is like, you didn't learn your lesson when you was talking about the Civil War. You didn't learn it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So again, so now we're not only is she ignoring
professor of biology, by the way.
Okay, professor of biology, but at HBCU.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The man taught
for 30 years. So slavery came up. You was there for 30 years at Voorhees College. Slavery came up, sir.
Right.
Like, don't play with it.
Come on now. So here's the wild thing about this though. While she's saying that we're not a racist country, we've never been a racist country, she's running and she's her public persona, her name is Nikki. That's not her first name.
I'm gonna run as a tanned white woman.
This is her first name, Nimarata. You know who loves to say Nikki Haley's first name? Donald J. Trump. He don't call her Nikki. He call her Nimarata. Nimarata.
Please, hey, come on, bro. That got weird a little bit.
Cause that's how he be talking. Hey, Jen J said, "Oh wow, caught alive. I don't know who you guys are, but I really like your channel. Straight up, appreciate that, Jen J.
Yeah, appreciate it. That's love."
RT the man 121 said, "Imagine changing your whole identity and bleaching your skin to run as Republican and say this. She's trying to convince herself more than anything." I agree wholeheartedly because
nobody else is buying it.
The front runner, the leader of her party right now, is doing the exact thing that she says doesn't exist. He's using her name the same way he used Barack Obama's name, Barack Hussein Obama, and he said it that way to highlight the foreignness of it. He's doing the same thing to your name. It's xenophobia. It's racism. It's happening like in the moment, and this is the bullshit that she's speaking on. So that was her second stop, right? Saying America.
Miss Ma'am, no, but hold on. I think this comment is important before you go to the next part. Miss Ma'am identifies the fact that there's a base out there. There's people who are attracted to that. She says she's pandering to the people who want to rewrite and change history, the people who believe the lies they tell themselves. And I'll be damned if it ain't the whole population. And them the same people who don't want the textbook at the schools. Then the people who don't want the DEI in the classroom. They really are not about trying to fixate on that. You be whoever you want to be, Nimarata. And Donnell says, Nimarata is a beautiful name. She chose Nikki instead, like just lazy, sad, just very white, a very white approach to shit that was real pretty and just stripping it down.
She must not have spent a lot of time on that HBCU campus.
Couldn't have been.
Like, because and when they talk about the racial pandering from Democrats, we talked about that last week, and there is a follow-up from last week's conversation that's relevant today. But we talked about how Democrats pander. But this is how conservatives pander using race. Like the whole race baiting idea. Democrats aren't the only people that bring that up. Republicans do the same thing, and they do it in the context of saying, "Hey, no, it don't exist. Let me rub you back and let you know that when they talking about racism, that ain't a real thing. That's not, you know." So So this was her next stop. Then she comes to this is the one of the premier platforms for black radio, that we consider black radio.
Yeah.
She takes her ass to the Breakfast Club, DJ Envy, Charlamagne the God. Right. Now, here is the quick refresher if you missed last week's episode. Last week we were criticizing the way that the media and mainstream politics now look at Charlamagne as like the mouthpiece for black people. And it wasn't even personally about Charlamagne, but more so how institutions use are quicker to use our celebrities than our scholars.
Yes.
They're quicker to use, right, the people that make us laugh and the people that we joke with than the people that educate us.
It's the second level criticism of the celebrities that then get that spotlight and then sit up and take up space without then transitioning over people into taking up who really need to be the mouthpiece, who we really need to be listening to, because it's a failure to do that as well.
100%. And I tell you, what did we in terms of what we said about the Breakfast Club specifically? Mm-hmm. He got his origins. They got to be able to have these type of conversations with two people, Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden. What did we get from the Hillary Clinton interview?
Hot sauce in my bag. Swag.
What did we get from the Joe Biden interview?
If you ain't voting for me, you ain't black.
Now, how in the fuck do we continue to give Charlamagne this credit? Because yet and again, we get more bullshit coming from another presidential candidate on what now? On what? On the fucking Breakfast Club. Yeah. And I'm talking about the pushback that Charlamagne provided was pity pat.
Bruh.
Like he did enough to be able to say, well, no, I push back against her. He did enough to be able to say he did the action of pushing back.
Wait.
But they still allow misinformation from a conservative candidate. Now I did get kind of proven wrong because I said conservatives don't come to black platforms. Nikki Haley just so happened to make the decision to do that. But I before we actually get into the things that Nikki Haley said, I want one of the viewers on a YouTube comment actually gave us a very good way to understand why they being criticized. And we're gonna watch the content here in a second, but I want us to take a look at this comment here. All right. Now, Terry Lee Watkins. Oh, let me get what I'm trying to get. All right. Nope, that ain't it. All right. Hold on. There we go. All right. Terry Lee Watkins on Twitter said this commentator on YouTube says it plainly. These hosts are not equipped. And basically and equipped is literally the word that I used last week.
Absolutely.
Allowed
you don't have the range. You don't have the range to, like, it's just not in your bag. It's not a part of what your skill set is. Finish the tweet. They don't have the
these hosts are not
they're not equipped and basically allowed a non-white supremacist a non-white supremacist to disseminate this information into the black community and freely. I'm talking about sitting there, and letting her just talk her shit. And the YouTube comment went and very eloquently says what? Because I can't even read that from over here.
No disrespect, but you guys have a huge platform. If you're not prepared to challenge some of these dangerous talking points she's spewing, you shouldn't have her on. I'm all for inviting people with opposing viewpoints to the table for a conversation, but seriously, y'all really let her off the hook on some really dangerous rhetoric, and I think it's because neither of you understood it. 100%. Like, this is literally what we told you. If y'all ain't been paying attention, this is proof that the chop up is ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
Like, the conversation that we just had last week predicted everything in this. So we're gonna take a look at some of the comments she made, some of the stances she took, and show you how Charlamagne and them ain't prepared. Let's go. Let's start with we already watched that one. Let's start with Haley right here. Make sure y'all able to hear it. All right, let's get it.
Kamala, I want to ask.
Hold on, let me make sure you're able to get it too.
Yeah, let me get in on that.
Yeah. Y'all bear with me just a second. Holler at him real quick to you.
I mean, I definitely, it's Black History Month, so we're gonna be being sure to highlight and talk about some beautiful and amazing Black people this month. If y'all got some people to put on our radar, and if y'all not already following the IG, go ahead and do that. It's just at the Chop Up Show. Make sure y'all jump on there and give us Black folks, Black accomplishments that are under unsung, I think is the phrase or is the word. Local Black people that's in y'all's neighborhood and in y'all backyard. We want to hear about what's going on with y'all, the things that we can be celebrating and just really putting our energy in as we think about all of the greatness, all of the survival, all of the resilience, all the power, all the love, all the community building that exists in Black people. So those are some of the plans that we have for the next few Thursdays. So tap in with us. And of course, the other way is, I mean, we want you to meet us on IG, but just jump in the comments. So if you're watching this later on, it's never too late for you. Go ahead and talk to us, holler at us in the comments. We're going to go ahead and tap in and see what's good. And let's see. Jen J said, well, we just learned why Just Hilarious hasn't been hired. She would have held Nikki fired. Actually, Just Hilarious, she came out prematurely.
She actually did.
Yeah, she ended up being hired after all. They just made the announcement the other day. So
yeah.
Is she in this clip?
No, she's not in this clip.
Well, maybe she didn't report for duty. No, Just Hilarious. I don't think she's unfunny. Is that my friend?
Yes, it is.
That was my friend. I don't think Just Hilarious is unfunny, but I also don't think she would have got nobody together like we thought. Hi. Hello to the executive producer. This is Huey. What's up, my friend?
All he wants is my phone, y'all, so don't even. Y'all know how that goes. Daddy phone?
Give you the phone, and then when you can, press play on the clip, and we'll jump right into it.
Yeah, let's get it.
Kamala, I want to ask why you said if Kamala was president, why it would send chills down your spine.
Sure. So a couple of things. I think with Obama, that was, if you go back, that's when we really started to feel the division. That's when it was.
A lot of that was because of white supremacists, though.
What?
Okay, so y'all hear this is a lot of that because of white supremacists, though. No, bro, that ain't how you push back on that. Like, just think like you're. Oh, a lot of that's because of white supremacists, bro. She knows that. She recognizes that. What you gotta understand is she's pushing propaganda. You're not having an honest conversation with her. She's on an interview where she could push her propaganda. You got like that. That's being like, oh, well, you know, that's white supremacy. It's like she doesn't agree and believe in white supremacy. Let's continue.
So she's not gonna start there and be like, oh, you got me. Sure is.
Right.
No, I think it was everything. Everything was exaggerated with the Obama administration. It became more about gender. It became more about race. It became more about separating Americans instead of bringing them together.
That was because of right-wing media, though. Well, they were scared to death of a black president.
Look, I don't think everybody is at fault. I'm not saying that one person did this, but I'm saying under that administration, it really did cause some. People felt like they were being put in camps through that administration. The second thing is, I saw he was very much an Iranian sympathizer. He very much kept wanting to support and do things with Iran. I think that's incredibly dangerous. This is a culture that says death to America, and you have to always be careful. A lot of spending happened on his watch that started us down that spiral.
And they're not saying nothing.
And then Obama did a lot of things by executive order. And that really started he did a lot by executive order. Then Trump came in and reversed it all by executive order. Then Biden went and reversed it all there. You've got to do it the hard way. You got to get Congress to come together and do those things because that makes it permanent. So what that did is that created leaders from around the world saw you just wait out a president. But more than that, people got used to just quick fixes instead of coming together and doing the hard work.
Listen to the amount of bullshit she was able to spread with no pushback from the men on this black platform. Y'all letting her, like, regardless of the criticism that we have of Obama, y'all letting her blame him for the racial circumstances. It started with Obama. Like let's forget the fact that literally the most the spike in hate crimes was the second highest, only to 9/11 when Trump was elected. And you saying that the racial started with Obama? Stop playing. We can go the racial shit is always been an aspect of it.
I mean, he should be gone by now, right? We've had a Republican and a whole new Democrat president. That was 8 years ago, and 3 presidents ago now, almost 2 presidents ago. So it's just like what really becomes the excuse. I couldn't hear the video, so I didn't hear a lot of what she was saying or a lot of how she was saying stuff. But I trust that a lot.
Yeah, because her points was generally, if we just summed it up, it was literally Obama started the racial tensions. He did a lot of executive orders, right? And I don't understand how that connects to racial tension and inspired like death to America type environment. All of that shit is a lie. You know what I mean? Like you had like you the anti because she pushing an anti-Muslim sentiment on the same platform. You feel me? So it's like we trying to figure out like how is it that y'all could let like I ain't even mad that she says it. The frustration has to do with the black men that sat there and didn't do nothing to push back against any of the nonsense. And I think it becomes the question of being equipped. Hold on, y'all, just a second. Go ahead, Toya.
Well, I mean, Miss Ma'am dropped a comment. Charlamagne should have pressed what was the cause of the division, what happened to make people feel like they were put in boxes, give specific examples. And that's where the crossroads we are. That's the issue that we have. You know what I'm saying? When these people sit down with you, and we talked about these people, your Mark Lamont Hills, who's just other people having great conversations. I mean, your Cornel West, I think even some of the more kind of contemporary, just critical race theorists of our time, I would like to hear you sit down and talk to Alexis Gumbs. I want to hear you sit down and talk to Frank Wilderson. So explain what these things mean in the context of some of the same theories about race that you don't want to talk about. But the crossroads is they got to put it on platforms when we watch it. They got to put the cookies where the kids are reaching. You know what I'm saying? But this is how I mean by not leveraging platforms, not making discussions accessible. I don't see a reason why it's not a fourth mic in there, where it's DJ Envy, Charlamagne, somebody who's qualified to ask questions and have these types of conversations and be in the room, and Nikki Haley. There's no way of bridging any of these gaps, and it's easy. It doesn't have to be this whole separate platform. It could just be different commentators who pop in and say, I know, my brothers, my sisters, my peoples don't have the range to ask these types of questions, but I'm gonna go ahead and jump in here and try to figure out what's what in relationship to what the bigger questions are and what the bigger implications are of your politics, because they don't know how to do they don't know no better. And I don't think that would one up or outshine any of them. It's just a different opportunity to get different vantage points in. And then you can ask some of your frivolous ass conversations or some of your surface level questions, and we all have a good time.
Right. All right. So that was the first place where everybody was able to recognize that y'all don't need to be talking to these people. Y'all don't need to be introducing these people into our spaces because y'all don't know how to safeguard it. Like y'all ain't no different from Fox News when you allow her to speak on shit like that. You really not. You know what I'm saying? It's just another propaganda machine, and y'all just sitting there looking stupid.
Yeah, because Tesla Figaro, I do gotta shout her out because I do watch a lot of her content, and she is unabashed. I feel like she's unbiased. She critical, asks good questions. I don't know why she wasn't a part of that conversation, right? Why she wasn't in there? And I mean, let her off the chain. And we really got somebody who, I would love to see a nice little calm back and forth between Tesla and Nikki, but that's not the product that we're being given. That's not the version of how we should participate in this political conversation that's being sold to us. Jen says Nikki Haley checked off the box, completed ethnic outreach for her presidential run by going on the Breakfast Club. That's it. That's all. She ain't gonna talk to nobody else. She ain't gonna have no more diverse types of conversations. This conversation was baseless. I don't even know who she was persuading. Like who? I don't know who this interview was for, I guess, except for the self-serving narrative or whatever the hell Charlamagne is supposed to be doing. I don't understand who.
And that's really all it is. It's really just like it's to put on the airs as if like they actually are a part of the political dialogue. No, Charlamagne. Yeah. The Breakfast Club is not a part of the political dialogue. They're a part of the pandering. When you want to pander, I mean, because it's a few black conservatives, this whole Obama conversation, all this does is spur them back up. Them black conservatives, like, I told you, Obama didn't do nothing for black people. I told you Obama wasn't productive for black people.
And now they're going to follow that same carrot on that stick back to supporting these dumbass campaigns and shit like that, and these dumbass leaders who ain't got no politics with no base in them, all because they know the dog whistles. They know the magic words.
That's it. That's it. And so I'm trying to make sure you're able to hear this one. You able to hear this?
No, I can't see nothing playing or hear nothing right now.
All right, hold on. Yeah, I'm sharing it on the Ninja. There we go.
Yeah, I see some. Can't hear nothing though. It's cool. Just play it. All
right. Now, this is where Charlamagne is having a conversation with Nikki Haley about race. Now, again, listen to the bullshit she says and pay attention to how they respond to her. Like, it's really pathetic. And again, and I don't want to hear nothing about, well, like, you know, you got to kind of respect your host. That's not what this is. If that's what it's about, getting all the voices out there, then you might as well just consider yourself another NBC, another Fox News, another CNN. You're not a black platform. The whole idea and the purpose behind a black platform is providing information. Like, you know that black people come to this place, you know what I'm saying, to hear people talk, to hear perspectives. You feel me? Now, it's like when you have like a conservative black scholar on there, it's like, okay, that's, you know, that's one thing. But these are politicians. These are candidates that people are expected to vote for. These are political perspectives that people take legitimate. Yeah. Like much higher stakes. Especially when like we're like black men specifically are being accused of being more conservative, being more of the Trump supporters. That means that black men got to do a better job of like of showing how we are a part of more complicated, complex conversations just than whether we Democrat or Republican. But let's hear from Nikki Haley talk about what she thinks about the impact of race today.
A question: when you look at the inequalities in America, in education, you know, home ownership, employment and wealth, healthcare, can you admit that America is systemically and structurally a racist country?
I think culture has a lot to do with it, right? But it's more of, if you look at that, how do you fix it?
Because when you say,
now when she say it has a lot to do with culture, she talking about how black people live.
Mm-hmm.
Let's hear Charlamagne's pushback. She talking about how black people live. Let's hear the pushback.
All men are created equal. No, they weren't, because we were labeled 3/5 of a human. Black people were.
Right, and we made that wrong right. Mm-hmm. And we've got some more rights we have to do. But this is... So
systemically and structurally, do you think America is racist? Not the people, not everybody in America.
I don't think America's racist. I think we have racism in America.
And
I think we have cultural issues. But let me explain where I am. So first...
She said, so America's not a racist country, but we have racism in America. But help me understand that, like, where does it come from then? Who was involved? Who was a part of it? What was the basis of it?
First of all, I grew up in a town of 2,500 two stoplights. We were the only Indian family in that small southern town. We weren't white enough to be white. We weren't black enough to be black. Mm-hmm. They didn't know who we were, what we were, or why we were there. In that rural town, we didn't know what we didn't have. And so people just survived. I now have
Now, she just said, grew up in a rural town. Mm-hmm. Wasn't black enough to be black, wasn't white enough to be white. Bitch, you just described racism. You just described xenophobia. And you described it. To be a
human being. That is the problem.
And you described it in terms of the environment. You saw racism, and because you were seen as different, and they actually put you closer to the blacks. Really? Why else do you think your father ended up at an HBCU? Or why did he feel comfortable teaching at an HBCU? Like, let's continue.
It's not hard.
Education Foundation in South Carolina, where we do after-school programs in all rural challenged areas, because you've got to give extra support to those areas that don't have. The goal is not what the circumstances are. How do you pull people out of those circumstances and lift them up?
Well, you can't hear what you don't reveal. So you have to acknowledge the history of this
You
country.
have to acknowledge that these things are happening, and how are you going to fix it?
Absolutely. Now, I wonder, why can't politicians, Democrat and Republican, because we've all heard.
See, and that's it. Like the shit. You didn't ask her, well, what do you mean culture? You didn't ask her about, well, let's talk about that experience. Is that not racism when you're not white enough to be white, but not black enough to be black? There was no challenge to any of the things that she said from Charlamagne. And DJ Envy is completely ill-equipped. This nigga don't even know when he being a scam. Or better yet, he don't even know when he being the scammer. He don't understand when he being the scammer. So there's no chiming, there's no part of the conversation where they actually be like, now, Nikki Haley, we appreciate you being here, but we got to be honest with you. What you just said right there just described racism. And you didn't describe it in terms of an individual, you described it in terms of your environment. But you want to know why Charlamagne didn't say that? Because he can't. He don't know how to identify that.
He's not equipped. Ain't that what we said earlier? He's not equipped. does not have the equipment. He's not built like that. It's not there.
It's not a part of what he can do. But yet, for some reason, NPR thinks that this nigga determines how black voters think.
My boy.
Like, come on. So it's one of those things where Nikki Haley isn't really, like, she's being used as a pawn right now. Like, and you know, tell me what you think about this analysis, because I think what's happening is because Democrats see the benefit of her fracturing the conservative party, they're doing more things for her to get seen. Like, mainstream media is giving her this light because it's like, ooh, we got a Trump killer. She's not even close to getting the nomination. I think Donald Trump did already wrapped up the nomination. Like, she can't get the nomination.
They're going through formalities and kind of trying to have the results of her appearance and presence mean something for a later time and a later strategic move. You know what I'm saying? So you got to have it for data's sake. The trajectory, the climbing polls, even if it's irrelevant because he's double figures ahead of you. Like, all of that shit is a part of the political theater of it all. I think, you know, when it comes down to her, though, she does have the ability, and in the same ways where it's like everybody got to vote this way, you know, in terms of Democrats, or if you fracture the voting base, you kind of run the risk of messing some stuff up. And I just started echoing. But it's the same logic. You know what I'm saying? There could be a chance where Nikki Haley siphons off enough ballots from the Trump campaign to give a solid foundation, and all of a sudden you have a Joe Biden slipping away and tipping away with some of those votes. And so I think that's an interesting thing to think about, is just when you split up that voter base, that's the same reason that people was telling people you can't vote for, what was the white lady name? That was running for president for Democrats. That had to drop out, but everybody wanted to support her.
Marianne Williamson.
No, the other one. The other white lady with the shorter haircut with the glasses. You know who I'm talking about. She was relatively exactly. Right. A lot of people was like, well, I don't want to be a Bernie bro and I don't want to do this, but I do. So I wanted to vote for Elizabeth Warren. I'm not even gonna hold you. I did. Fake indigenous person at all. We was just gonna have to see what else she got, because he's terrible and this nigga, like, everybody got some issues. So I was willing to check that one out.
You know what I say though? Niggas waited too late to be complaining about this.
I mean, I'm not complaining about it. I'm using it as an explanation for a new context, which is
I guess I'm
separate
like
ballots up
in terms of like the candidate, in terms of just like the candidate, like we cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's too late.
Yeah. Yeah, being like, I'm all right with that. I was cool with that. That could have been like, yeah, you should have been acting on that.
Yeah, but
all I'm saying is, because she's very relevant to my real life, my purview as a voter, the shit that I care about. So I don't even want to be her no dead horse at her. She should just be shamed because she's silly and stupid. That's my take.
So all right, man. To close this out, it's real simple. The chop up, as y'all can see, we ahead of the curve. If y'all go back and listen to the last episode, we literally described the Nikki Haley interview to a T. We should not be trusting niggas who cannot actually hold politicians that they interview accountable with being the ones that bring us these conversations. Yeah. Like, we should not, like, because I mean, the reality is, The Breakfast Club is iHeartRadio. The whole black platform thing, we got to get that out of our head. If we remove the expectations from these corporate platforms, the black expectations from these corporate platforms, we will feel a lot better just looking at it as the tomfoolery it is.
Yes.
But when when Charlamagne is dominating headlines, like when people like Charlamagne and Nikki Haley are dominating headlines when they really shouldn't be, it's telling us that it's something that they're trying to show us. They want us to look in a particular direction. All right. We got to do a better job of having the type of discernment to be like, oh, yep, they on some bullshit. Yep, Nikki Haley really is irrelevant to the larger picture, but she's being used by liberal media right now. And just understand it for what it is. We shouldn't, if Nikki Haley is willing to change her own name to be accepted into conservative circles, best believe, don't expect anything she say about race to be productive or display any level of racial literacy. And I guess I should explain this earlier because I do have the term racial illiteracy in the chat or in the title of the video. Racial illiteracy is the inability to read, understand, perceive, or write instances that deal with racism in real life. When you can't understand microaggressions, when you can't understand why putting an A at the end of a word that typically have an ER just because you're talking to a black person. If you can't understand why niggas kind of freeze up and get weary when the police behind them, if you can't internalize those types of situations when they being explained to you or when they being witnessed, you are, my friend, racially illiterate. And Nikki Haley has displayed that to the T.
My lord.
Thanks to you, and got a boost thanks to yours truly, Charlamagne the God, and the Breakfast Club.
We were asked how we feel about Marianne Williamson. I didn't really pay too much attention to her because she was on some weird shit. Like, she had some points be made, points were made. I feel like she'd be having these eccentric moments where she's able to really engage in the audience.
Like reading tarot cards or some shit.
But then it starts, and like, I'm not even gonna hate on the tarot card people.
I don't want tarot cards in the White House. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I don't know what that says about me, but I don't want tarot cards in the White House. To
predict the war. Like, I don't want you to be like, this Five of Wands is telling me that. Like, no, I think we should just
But with that, man, we appreciate y'all for joining us on another Thursday evening. We've had a wonderful time, wonderful conversation. Chop Up was able to flex a little bit in our predictions and how we operate. For the new people that pulled up, thank y'all. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure y'all hit that subscribe button. Let's build this platform up. This is a black platform. We can say that. Shit, yeah. Our views and everything else kind of show that too. Shit, like the type of black shit we talk about ain't the shit that get pushed in the algorithm. So we need y'all.
Hey, don't forget all the black ass things that y'all can find that y'all feel like we should know about. It's always gonna be a good thing to share them with us. Put it in the comments. Beat us on Instagram at the Chop Up Show. Drop us links, drop us stuff you want us to know. We're trying to make Black History Month a special one, and that means making sure that we see in the world from your point of view and from your perspective. So if it's on your radar, put it on ours. We'll see if we can turn it into a whole situation. And yeah, DJ Envy ass is going to jail anyway.
I thought he was snitching.
Man, look, I don't know. I think that nigga gonna do some time, but that's just me. We're gonna see.
Yeah,
Marcel, Jen, J Universe, Regular Joe, Miss Ma'am, Dynell, who I miss. Hood Therapy was up in here talking to
suspects.
us. Tiffany was in the building. Emmanuel, everybody, we love y'all, and we're gonna call y'all out by name every single time. If y'all ain't hit that thumb on the way out, go ahead and do that. Besides that, that's all I got. Damo, let's be out.
Hey, well, yeah, we're gonna see y'all next time, man. Y'all make sure y'all look out for the clips, converse on the social media, all that. Especially if y'all be on IG. This the Chop Up. We're gonna see y'all next time. Peace.